Good morning.
Namaste.
How are Namaste, Vikas.
Oh,
What a happy, what a happy thing to wake up to this morning.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice to see you.
it's lovely to see you. I miss you.
What time is here?
Well, here in the United States on the East Coast, it's 7 in the morning. So
Okay,
birds are just beginning to sing, and I have my coffee with me. And
okay.
and you in India, what time is it there?
It's 4:30 afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me introduce you first. So here today with us Amber Chand, and she's a visionary leader, uh, a gifted writer, and social entrepreneur. And what else can I tell? It's an inspirational speaker, and she's a global woman. She has a roots in India, mostly in India and Africa, and maybe in United States and UK. I think Amber, you can tell about your, I must say, your journey, a little bit about your journey, and especially about Indian roots. So, Amber Chan.
Yes. Thank you, because I'm so delighted to be here with you and with Ekno Tours. This is a wonderful opportunity to connect with old friends.
Yeah.
And so, yes, my name is Amber Chand, and I am, my ancestors are North Indian from Punjab. But I was born in Uganda, in Kampala, Uganda. And so I spent my early years in Africa. And then when I was 10, I went to a British boarding school where I became, as an adolescent, I became immersed in the world of England, all right? And then, unfortunately, we became refugees from Uganda in 1972 when all the Indians were thrown out of the country. We were expelled by a tyrannical dictator. His name was Idi Amin Dada. So 1972, 80,000 Indian people left their homeland, and we all scattered around the world. And I ended up in the United States of America, and I have been here ever since then. It's been a long time, yes. So
Okay.
traveled
So,
many places.
which city you live now?
So now I live actually in a small, beautiful town. It's
Yeah.
2.5 hours west of Boston. So I live in Massachusetts. But I live in a town in which we call it this area, we call it the Berkshires. And the Berkshires is full of nature, lakes and forests. And you wouldn't think when people think of the United States, they may think of these big cities and, high rises. And I live in a place a little like your home, I think, in Dharamsala.
Kind of
Very
countryside.
beautiful. So I'm very grateful that this is where I am residing. Yes.
Okay, that's great. So,
Yeah.
so how are you spending your time these days? Kind of lockdown situation.
I'm telling you, what a shock, right? I mean, we started all the year 2020. We all had such plans, and
Yeah.
I was looking forward to some good travels. Yeah, and I think that we have all been given. It depends on how you look at it. So, on one hand, I live in a very beautiful place, so every day I can go for walks, and
Hmm.
I find that nature is
Mm-hmm.
the best medicine. When
Yes.
when the world is in chaos, go and sit by a river, go into the mountains, because that's where you will feel restored. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's very difficult. Um, but I've continued my work. I'm a visionary coach. I work with clients around the world
Yeah.
in terms of supporting them in stepping out of one story that you've lived in
Yeah.
and stepping into a new story that you are seeking to live into, right? So that work has continued because of Skype and Zoom, etc. I'm able to continue that. Um, and and then I think what when something like this happens in the world, you can either go to sleep, you can either just put the covers over your head and say, oh my God, the world is crazy, I'm going to go and hide away. That is always an option. But for me, the option is not there. And so when COVID hit, and I call it Corona Kali. Kali is Corona Kali is my name for it because it felt like this force came through the world like a big tsunami,
Yeah.
but there was a destruction. But inside of destruction, there is creation. It's the
Yeah.
Shiva story. And I felt that this incredible experience globally was literally asking us all to come to our knees, to recognize that the world we've created in many ways is not sustainable. It
Yes.
cannot go on that way.
Yeah.
And in order for it to change, it has to almost be this huge, you're hit on the head with the need to change. So with all of that in mind, I decided to launch something. It was Facebook Live and it's now on YouTube, called Tea with Amber.
Yes.
I said, what do people need when they're going through a time like this? They want to go to an oasis. An oasis is
Yes.
a place to come, to support, to rest, to nourish your soul. So I created Tea with Amber as a half-hour episodes, where I would take people on a journey. And I would say to them, first, have a cup of tea with me. Because when we have tea with each other, we're
Yes.
like happy, we're friends.
Yeah.
Come and have a cup of tea with me and let us speak on this time. But I wanted to speak on this time through the eyes of the poet, through the eyes of wise people. Indigenous people all around the world have such wisdom about this time. So, and then my own personal reflection. So I did 12 episodes. Every
Yes.
Tuesday I would get on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I
Cup
saw
of tea.
that. So,
Oh, I'm glad you were there, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So
My
how,
daughters
how's
would
your
always
tea
come
with
on.
Amber going?
Well, after 12 episodes, that's a lot.
Yes.
Every week, I decided that was season one. I called it season one.
Yeah.
So now I'm taking a break. It's summer here in the
Yeah.
United States. I'm taking a break. And then in the fall, in autumn, I will show up again with season two.
Okay.
Because I want the themes to resonate with where we are on the journey.
Mm-hmm. So I heard you have that theater. You perform on theater also called One Woman Show, something like that. The name.
Yes.
Can you tell about that a little bit?
I'm wondering, did I do an excerpt in when I was with you? Did I perform a little bit in India? I don't know if I did. Anyway, I did do it at Para in Dharamsala. I did perform it. Well,
Yeah.
yes, in 2013, on January the 1st, I got up, I woke up in the morning, and I asked myself this question. And it's a funny question, because most people, when you look at your year, you say, what am I going to do to enjoy my year? This is what we say. But I said instead, what am I going to do to terrify myself this year? And that is how the idea of doing a one-woman show, which I've never done, I have never done anything like that. That's when the idea came. And I said, okay, why not? So the one-woman show is called Searching for the Moon.
Yes.
Stories of love, despair, faith, and forgiveness. That's the title. And it's my memoir. It's the story of my life. It's a story of a young girl brought up in Uganda, grows up in a very lovely, noble, beautiful family, all Punjabi, and then gets taken off into a world of English boarding school, which is like exile. And then I speak on that, and I speak on being a refugee, but I act it, and I have lots of accents I put on. I put on an Indian accent, African accent. So that show, it's 90 minutes. And look at this, 6 months after I made that crazy decision to do a one-woman show, I performed it, and I thought maybe 10 people will come.
Yes.
That's what I thought. 100 people came.
Oh, that's
Standing
great.
room only. And
Yeah.
at the end of it, they were like, up. And I was so surprised. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize, because it wasn't, when you tell your story, because it's your story, it's Vikas. But when you start telling a story, and underneath the story are principles that connect us to each other as human beings. It's
Yes.
a human story. So this is why people love my one-woman show, because I'm talking about a deeper thread of our humanity through the eyes of one woman. you know.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that you did one little show in Best Exotic Marigold Hotel in Ravla,
mm,
Kempur. And I remember you
oh,
telling about
yeah.
story about your mother and father, young Karam Chand and Asha Chand. So
Yes,
I was traveling in the time with you. So it was really great
yes, I'm
experience
now.
to learn the story.
Oh, that was the most beautiful evening
Yes,
where there we were at the exotic Marigold Hotel,
yes,
courtyard. The
yeah,
sun was setting.
yes,
The courtyard was a marble courtyard with beautiful pillars.
yeah,
And oh my God, I'll never forget. So I came out and I did three scenes from my
yeah.
show. And you were all having cocktails and sitting back and
Masala
enjoying. And
chai.
it was very special.
Yeah,
And masala chai, yes, masala chai. And some of the Western women were having cocktails. And
yeah,
um, that was very special. Oh
yes,
my God. So many special times I've had with you, Vickers.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I think we met first time in 2012 in Dharamshala. Since then, we are like a few tours together. So we did
Yes.
Rajasthan, we did Dharamshala, Amritsar. So which one is your like you like most? Like Rajasthan
Oh,
or in the up north in Dharamshala?
oh, I mean, each of them is so different. That's
Yes.
the thing,
Yeah.
each of them is so different. I mean, what I really, really loved about working and partnering, collaborating with Ekno is that in my partnership with you, I got a chance to actually design where
Yeah.
I wanted to go,
Yeah.
and so I would say, because coming from North India myself, I have a
Yeah.
connection to North India, and so coming, and I always wanted to go to the foothills of the Himalayas. There was something so romantic about it, exotic about it,
Yes.
and um, that's where you and I met. And then, of course, Rajasthan. When people think of Rajasthan, they think of palaces and they think of the desert and they think of the opulence of the Mughals. And there's something so. It's like a fairy tale,
Yeah.
a fairy story coming from those amazing times. So I love Rajasthan. I love the foothills of the Himalayas. And as you know, I was planning another trip to Kerala. That was
Yes.
going to be the first time I was going to take my group to the south of India.
Yes.
Um, Hopefully, we will be doing that. Yeah.
So do you have any other plans after COVID-19 traveling, or do you miss traveling?
Oh, when you've grown up as a child in Africa, you're Indian, you've traveled to Europe, you begin to see yourself as a global
Yes,
citizen.
of course.
So for me, traveling is like medicine. It is
Yeah.
tonic. Um, and for some people, they don't travel and they're not interested. They're afraid to travel. But for me, it is essential to travel because when we travel, we step out of the comfort zone, the familiar,
Yeah.
and we step into a world that actually can transform us and connect us deeper to our humanity, let's say. So
Yes.
traveling to me is tonic, it's
Yes.
medicine, it's education. For me, I mean, my God, when I bring these women, most of the women I bring, I mean, most of the groups I've held are women only. Um, and these women have always had a dream of going to India, but they've always been afraid. India, because India is such an extraordinary presence on our planet, and so for some they're afraid to travel. They're just afraid. Oh my God, the poor. Oh my God, I don't know if I. So when I design these journeys, I call them journeys, not trips, because I like to see the people on my journeys as travelers, not tourists. I'm really not interested in tourism in that sense
Yeah.
because a tourist comes through quickly and just moves on.
Yeah.
But a traveler is seeing with deeper eyes. And that's why I love traveling with you because you have always been able to open a door for all of us into this world. And you have so much knowledge. And you're also very at home in this world. So when we're with Vickers, I mean, everybody loves you. Everybody says, we want to make sure Vickers is with us on our next trip, right? But I think that's important to make us feel comfortable, to invite us in like we're guests coming into a new country. And so I've always felt that welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. So traveling to me is a time when you are welcomed by the world.
Okay.
And so I encourage everybody, once this pandemic is over, because it will be over,
Yeah.
I encourage people to actually get back and travel, but travel mindfully, travel thoughtfully, sort of just this idea of just like, oh, I have to go and see this place and get out of it. But it's almost like, I want to learn from India.
Yeah.
India has something to teach me.
Yeah. We met you like since 2012. We are working together. So we met lots of different people who came with you on tour. So can you tell about what you call your journeys and the people who join you? Are they the people who work, the follow you, or anybody can join you uh, journey to India?
Well, the journeys have been, the first two I did were to the foothills of the Himalayas, where we stayed at Tara, which is this extraordinary place in the valley, in Kangra Valley, that is supporting the empowerment of women and girls in the Himalayas. So the place we were staying was not a hotel; it was a sort of an oasis,
Yeah.
where we got a chance to learn a little bit more about the Himalayan experience, what it's like to be in that world. And then we also got a chance to experience Dharamsala and McLeod Ganj. And so I called that 1,001, I'm forgetting the names now, but the 1,001 lamps,
Yes.
1,001 lamps to India. Anyway, there was I always have a beautiful name for my journeys.
Okay.
Um, and then I did to the Himalayas, and then I went to Rajasthan, and we went twice.
Yes.
One of the interests I had was after the movie Exotic Marigold Hotel had come out, it had created a lot of interest, and I thought, and then when you told me, actually, Amber, there is a place called,
Yes.
there is a place, I
Yeah.
was
Actually.
amazed. And yeah, it's not just a Hollywood set. Then I said, oh my God, it's very important to go there. And what interested me about Exotic the Hotel was that it was right there on the edge of a village, a
Yes.
large village.
Yeah.
And it, so that the women I took on the journey could not just stay in this beautiful hotel, but also just walk by themselves into the village, feeling
Yeah.
very, very safe, and and having access to village India in a way that most people don't.
Yeah.
So there's something about these journeys that I create where I want, as I said, they're journeys, not just tourist trips, but there is this sense of seeing, going into deeper India and seeing both the opulence,
Yes.
the lavishness, the exquisiteness of its textiles, its
Yeah.
furnishings, its
Yeah.
architecture, and at the same time sitting in the village with a woman who has no teeth, who
Yeah.
is telling you, inviting you to have a cup of tea with her, and is sharing with you her story.
Yeah.
That, for me, is what makes travel so exciting. Um, and then the last trip I took with you, because you remember we designed it so that not only would we stay in a beautiful hotel, we went to Jodhpur, we went to Udaipur. We also stayed at a weaver's
Yes.
cottage, a homestay.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
It's beautiful.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
So the people who come on my journey are women. Um, Anybody is invited, but it will be the kind of woman who wants to travel in an intimate setting. I go with maybe 8 to 10. I
Yes.
have intimate settings. I prefer that. And these are women who are really ready to journey, but they want to do it with a group of other women. So, and the men are always complaining to me, why are you not inviting men, Amber? We men want to come on your trip.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, but maybe one day.
Yeah. Maybe the next journey you can do all the couples. You can invite the families and couples.
let's plan that.
Yeah.
Let's design a trip. That would be fun. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I just want to say that what I've loved about the collaboration with Ekno and with you, Vikas, is that I get a chance to design the trips based on my interests.
Yeah.
So you can imagine when I sit at my desk here in the United States, I'm creating the most beautiful vision, the dream of the India I want to see.
Yeah.
Then I connect with Ekno and you put together the logistics, the
Yeah.
design, the cars getting picked up. And I mean, that's important because I couldn't do that. I wouldn't know how to do that. But Ekno steps in and you've always supported my vision, always.
Yeah.
You've never said, oh, no, Amber, you can't do that. You always say, we're going to make this work, Amber. And so your skill, your efficiency, you're an amazing team to work with. So I can only speak highly of my collaboration with Ekno.
Thank you very much. So I want to say that, you design your dreams, you design your vision, and we are here to make it reality. And
That's right.
so,
Exactly.
thank you, Amber, for your precious time, and hope to see you soon in India. Namaste.
Yes, absolutely. Namaste, Vikas.
Namaste.
Say hello to your family.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you for this time. Bye-bye.
Bye.